Vice-Chancellor, I would like now to introduce to the congregation our speaker for this ceremony. Sandras Phiri is a business strategist and a startup coach. He's the director for Startup Grind South Africa and the director of entrepreneurship development at Africa Trust Group, the fund manager for the 100 million rands US-based Enigma Ventures Fund for Southern Africa. Sandras is an entrepreneur who has founded successful companies in IT, entertainment, and education. He has worked with over 25 organizations and has lectured at over 17 universities, including the University of Cape Town, Stellenbosch University, and Oxford. His work has taken him to 22 countries, including Silicon Valley in the US, Hong Kong, India, Mexico, and France. Some of the organizations he served include Sanlam, General Electric, Big Brother Africa, McKinsey & Company, the Foschini Group, and the African Union. Sandras has a degree in computer science and an MBA from UCT. He has been taught by some of the world's greatest teachers, including John DeMartini, Roger Hamilton, and Tony Robbins. He has shared stages with Facebook co-founder Dustin Moskovich, YouTube co-founder Stephen Chen, Guy Kawasaki, Steve Blank, and Clayton Christensen of Harvard Business School. He has worked in banking, mobile payments, unit trust, IT, and education. He has been named one of the 15 tech people to follow in 2018 and 2019. He has been featured in CNBC Africa and SABC3 and has been a mentor on SABC1 TV program Making Moves. With this intimidating summary of his life, allow me to invite Mr. Phiri to address the graduates.
It's such an honor, such a privilege, such a pleasure to speak in front of accomplished academics, the Fab academic, to speak in front of proud parents and guardians, and most importantly, to speak to you, brilliant graduates. Congratulations to all of you on your hard work. Congratulations on your commitment. So, my name is Sandras. So it's Sandra with an S at the end. Whatever you do, don't leave out the last S. It makes the biggest difference. I have a lot of respect for people in the health science field. I'm generally one of your easy patients. As when I go to see a health practitioner, the diagnosis for me most of the times is, you're okay. You just have a mild case of hypochondria. Sometimes I'm that irritating modern patient that goes to the doctor as the last resort after I've Googled all my symptoms. And now Google got me confused because it's given me 10 possible things that could be the reason for my running nose. From it could be allergic rhinitis to your brain could be leaking through your nose. I work with startups. I work with entrepreneurs. I love entrepreneurship because I believe that successful businesses have the power to positively change people's lives, create jobs, as well as grow economies. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. I grew up in a small town in Wakanda. Okay. You're thinking, that explains his accent. Okay, not really Wakanda, but next to Wakanda. I grew up in a small town in Zambia. I also spent a long time living in the village. I went to the city when I was in grade 4, and we lived in a township in a one-roomed house with my parents and my siblings. And when I share this story in some countries, they think one-roomed house means one-bedroomed house. But I'm sure you understand that that meant that was my bedroom, that was my brother's bedroom, it was my parents' bedroom, that was our lounge, that was our kitchen, that was our living room. During that period, my young brother and I had to get up early in the morning to go to the market to buy bread and milk and sell door to door before going to school in the afternoon. When I was at university, I had to have some form of business to help pay school fees, as both my parents had died by then. I sold eggs. I was also a bootlegger. I got the students drunk, and they gave me their money. And that's what I used to pay the balance of the fees, as I had 50% government bursary, and my siblings also helped out. My first formal company was a web development company, which I formed after I graduated with a computer science degree. Then 7 years ago, after doing an MBA at UCT, I quit my job to run my education and consulting company, which I co-founded with my wife 3 years prior. My work now has taken me to over 22 countries, and my wife has been to 32 countries. I'm still trying to catch up. We focus very much on the early stage startups, and now our company is a fund manager for a 100 million rand fund. And we invest in women businesses in any sector, in any of the 16 SADC countries. We are committed to helping build successful companies in Africa. I get asked a lot of questions through email, social media, or in person. And one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what would make me succeed? I want to succeed in my business, or I want to succeed in my career, or I want to succeed in my relationship or raising money. And of course, there is no one answer to that question. And success in anything depends on a lot of factors. So when people ask me that question, I answer using what I learned from my mentors. I say, what do you want? And what would success look like for you? And a lot of times people start to talk about what they don't want. They say, what I don't want is, and then they give me a list. I say, okay, cool, but what do you want? And they struggle. You see, don't spend your energy and time adding color and detail to the painting you don't want. Spend energy and time adding color and detail to the painting you want. So when they finally say what they want, I ask, is it casual or is there commitment? I think nothing can illustrate the difference between casual and commitment better than the work that people in the health sciences do. I've got 2 sons, Mwenda and Mwai. They are generally healthy boys, amazing teenagers. Mwai, the younger one, is a mild hypochondriac like me. He doesn't only Google his symptoms, he YouTubes them. He's taught me that he's actually seen somebody's brain leak through their nose. Mwenda, the older one, has got sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell is a genetic disease where the red blood cells, when under stress, change from a round disc shape to a sickle shape like a banana. When that happens, they break and get stuck in blood vessels, causing an oxygen shortage in the body. Mwenda has been quite healthy until about 2 years ago when he was 15 years old. He got a sickle cell crisis after a minor operation. The crisis he got was in the chest. The red blood cells were thickling more in the chest, which prevented oxygen from being taken in, and as a result, the thickling got faster and faster, so he passed out. We took him to the emergency room, and when they checked, instead of being at 100% or 95%, his blood oxygen level was at 58%. His hemoglobin concentration, instead of being around 12 grams per deciliter, or his usual 8, his HB was at 5. One lung was working at about 50%, and the other lung was working at about 10%. He was taken to ICU. Looking at everybody working, it was very clear to see that they were not casual about the outcome they were trying to get. They were committed, from the CPAP, from the transfusions, the tests, the medication, the care. There was commitment. After 11 days in ICU, the boy was discharged and restored to full health We are grateful to that commitment. I can't wait to take him to Wakanda so we can use vibranium and CRISPR to edit the problematic gene. While all the work was profound, one particular incident made the concept of commitment even more clear. It was on day 2, and they needed to draw more blood for more tests, and they could not find a vein for the needle. The ICU nurses, the pediatric nurse, an ER nurse, and the lab nurse all worked together to try to find a vein. After a long time, the lab nurse, who had sat there examining the limbs for a very long time, successfully inserted the needle into a vein. The whole ward cheered. We all hugged each other in relief. And watching that, I realized that there are a lot of us who are too casual about our work, too casual about our businesses, our endeavors. When it gets a little tough, we quit. When it requires a little extra work, we go on to something else. When we call once and get no answer, we don't call again. Or when we have a disagreement in a relationship, we are out, we ghost. Imagine if you're trying to find a vein for treatment and you struggle for 10 minutes and you say, you know what, why don't we try this tomorrow? Or why don't you use yesterday's readings to estimate what the blood levels could be today? Casual. Instead of, we'll keep trying until we find a solution. Commitment. When you commit, you see different results. People see that. Your superiors see that. Your investors see that. But commitment requires courage. It requires the courage to say, I'll do it. The courage to take action. The courage to say, I need help. The courage to say, we work well together because you are good in this area where I'm not. The courage to say, thank you. The courage to say, well done. And the courage to be the first one to say, I love you. Of course, when you commit, you will fall, you will get hurt, you will lose. But you also get up, you will heal, you will win. And when you win, people will say, wow, you're so lucky. And when you fail, you have no regrets, knowing that you had put in your best. In closing, I encourage you to make a commitment to your decision, make a commitment to your chosen field, your chosen business, make a commitment to your career, make a commitment to others. Most importantly, make a commitment to yourself. I wish you health, wealth, and fulfillment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that fantastic address.
Sandras, thank you very much for your speech. Thank you for sharing your experience, your wisdom with us. You're always impressive, man. The first time I heard Sandras speak, I was like, damn, he's so good. He's going to come back to UCT and talk to our students. Thank you. You know, Sandras, you are a UCT graduate, so all your successes are on us. You know, when people see you, if you don't know, if they say, where did you learn this? And when they send you questions you don't know how to answer, say to them, go and register at UCT, you'll get the answer. It's simple. I'm just saying, if you don't know the answer, you know, some of them you can answer, but those that you don't know, just direct them to our website. Tell them to register. Say to them, you know, if you register at UCT, I'm sure you'll get these answers. And then we will deal with them. You know, you can drop me an email and say, you know, and then we will sort them out. So thank you for giving us a good name. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for doing excellent work. You make Africa look good.
Yeah.